this is the latest thing that I've made, and as you can probably tell from looking at it, it's an alarm clock. What makes this guy kind of cool is that the whole front face of it is a printed circuit board. So all the circuitry that runs the clock is in plain view. And it's also got this kind of cool mountain scene actually etched into the metal. The negative parts of the PCB, the parts that don't have metal, are relatively see-through. So the 7-segment display, the red display that shows the time, actually shines through little numbers here. And I also have some RGB LEDs up top that kind of light up the sky and make it look like daytime or sunset or whatever, which looks pretty cool. I'll show that in a second. I had designed most of this myself, so it took for freaking ever to make. I got the idea from just kind of playing around with some printed circuit boards that don't have solder masks that are sitting on my desk and just noticing that, oh, the light shines through them pretty well. So that in combination with just randomly stumbling upon some YouTube videos that showed you how to print your own circuit board at home, which I didn't even know was a thing, got me kind of thinking about this project. So I actually designed the printed circuit board and actually printed it myself. Using like a photoresist method that I can talk more about later. And I also 3D printed the enclosure, which is not something I've done before. So it took an embarrassingly long amount of time to design this simple box in SketchUp because I have no idea what I was doing. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So let me give a quick demonstration. Alright, so first of all, this guy's powered by just a normal micro USB cable, which is pretty convenient because I have about 1 billion of them laying around. So this is what it does when it first boots up. The kind of cool thing about this is that the color pattern behind the mountains depends on the time. So if it's during the day, it'll kind of cycle through random colors, but they're mostly white. So you may not see much of a difference in the camera. It does look a little better in person than through the camera, but in any case, I can show what it does when it changes to like the sunset, for instance. So if I go later in the day, I think that'll trigger the change to a sunset pattern. And I think you can kind of tell it turned more like an orange color. Once again, looks a lot better in person than through the camera, but in any case, yep, so that's pretty cool. And if I keep going, it'll just turn off entirely because I don't like it shining in my face when I sleep. Yep. So it's got a few buttons on top here that you can see. The plus and the minus are for adjusting the time, as I just did. And the set button is actually to set the alarm. So it'll set the alarm time. So if I hold this down, the time will change there, and then if I press the plus and minus, I can adjust the alarm time. Oops. Snooze button, fairly obvious, it's for snooze, most important feature. I used a Cherry MX switch, so it's one of the cool blue clicky ones. Makes it fun to press. What else? Yeah, so to actually turn on the alarm, there's a red switch over here, so turning this guy on will actually turn on the alarm. You can see there's a red LED to indicate the alarm's on. So if I just fake this for a second and adjust the time back to right before the alarm time, I can show what it does when the alarm goes off. It's not super interesting. It's just a it's a little beeping tone. It's got a speaker on the back. So once that hits 11:20, it will go off. So there's just a little speaker here that's driven by the PIC microcontroller.
A few moments later.
There it goes. Whoa. Yeah. it doesn't look that flickery in real life, but it does cycle through a sunrise kind of pattern when the alarm goes off. So I think that looked a lot cooler on the camera than it did in real life. Yeah, so that's a quick demo. Thanks for watching.